represent you all in Sacramento. Thank you all very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Senator Ellen Corbett. Let's give her a big round of applause. Yowza! Thank you, Ellen. And it's no coincidence to me that the last 5 letters of the word community spell unity. And it's also no coincidence that the last 5 letters of the word opportunity spell unity. So tonight we have the opportunity to strengthen our community by celebrating our unity. And there is no one better equipped to greet you tonight and to celebrate with you than the founder of the Indo-American Community Foundation. Please welcome Mr. Jivan Zucchi.
Thank you, Mayor Margaret. Mayor Dave Smith. That was a joke. Yowza. I'm delighted to be speaking to you tonight again. This is our 8th annual event. And as you know, Unity Dinner is all about promoting harmony, promoting diversity, and getting people together. Our cities, school districts, Ohlone College, and other institutions of learning have developed programs which are very essential to promote understanding amongst diverse groups. We are honored to have the new president of Ohlone College. I don't know if she made it. Is she here, Gary Brown? No, she was actually not sure. And she is doing a wonderful job. And our Honorable Mayor, Dave Smith, is also the Executive Director of Ohlone College Foundation. And Ohlone College Foundation is doing extremely well, extremely well. Thank you. We thank the trustees of Ohlone College who are here. And we thank the trustees of school district who are here. We thank Chamber of Commerce, Cindy Bonnier, Nina Moore, KK. I don't know which table they're on. Cindy, where are you? Oh. We have Peggy Herndon here and Nina Moore, who did a superb job on the school board and decided not to run again. We are very fortunate to have Washington Hospital as one of the best hospitals in our area. It's run by a CEO who provides exemplary leadership. And that person is President Nancy Farber. Is she here? Yes. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you for being with us. We have a very effective hospital board and a very competent staff. I would like to thank Patricia Danielson for her exemplary service and support to our organization. Thank you, Pat. Our organization is honored to recognize the 2 staff members of Washington Hospital tonight who have done a very great job for patients consistently who really need them, and patients who cannot take care of themselves. And thank you, Washington Hospital, and thanks to those staff members for taking those pains. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Association of the American Physicians of Indian Origin for promoting healthcare by doing health fairs and a lot of activities. The president, Dr. Anu Nawani, is here, and we are very grateful. We have also Dr. Vinsani, who was recently elected to Eden Township Hospital Board, and who is one of the pioneers. Dr. Vinsani. APIO President Anu Nawani is going to be coming to give some awards later on, and Dr. Vinsani also. And we have Dr. Handel, who is also an honorary, 2006 honorary of our organization. is a leading ophthalmologist, and we are very grateful for his support to the community. We have Dr. Harmesh Kumar. Harmesh Kumar, thank you for being with us. He's doing a lot of work in Concord area to promote diversity by having all these fairs and festivals, and thank you. Our other organizations, like the NFIA, the National Federation of Indo-American Associations, they're very active nationally. And I would like to welcome the past chairman, Neeraj Bakchi. Is Neeraj still here? Current Vice President, Anil Yadav. FI Chairman, Kanchan Dharmani, and President Rajiv Awasthi. The Federation of Indo-American Association is represented by Chairman, Mr. Chandru Bamra, and the spokesman, Yogi Chud. The Indo-Americans for Better community is doing a great job in raising funds to help various causes, and I would like to thank Rakesh Sharma. Rakesh, are you still here or? Okay. The Indo-American Chamber of Commerce is led by a very dynamite president, and her name is Shreta Kapuria. Shreta, are you still here or you got tired of this event? You know, I have to really thank you publicly for postponing your very important meeting, your chamber meeting, and being here with your entire board. And we're very grateful to Om Chaudhary, who has always been a supporter, and every one of you. We have a very great supporter here, not only of our organization, but also of the community, who comes from Southern California year after year. And I'm sure you're all familiar with him, Dr. Krishna Reddy. Dr. Reddy. Dr. Reddy is the founder of Indian American Friendship Council. Actually, it was one of the first organizations which came into existence to build relations between India and the US, and did an amazing job. And Dr. Reddy, we're very grateful to you. Thank you. Well, I think Dr. Naresh Sharma, our new president, has already covered, you know, the mission, the goals, and why we're here, what we are trying to do, and I think I will not go over that, but I will definitely want to welcome and recognize our former state senator, Liz Figueroa. You know, it was a surprise. I saw her walking, and we're very honored, Liz. You know, it has been a long time, and we're very delighted. I hope you come again, and thank you. Thank you for being with us. You have done a terrific job for the community. Thank you. I encourage everyone to get involved and stay politically active. Getting involved in the mainstream issues and working towards the betterment of our community is what's extremely important. We have to be a part of the solution. Our Unity Dinner is a great way to remind people to maintain these great relationships that we have here. Please accept my gratitude for supporting this very important event year after year. And thanks to our sponsors, thanks to all those people who are here all the time. And thank you again. Have a great year.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jivan Zucchi. Big yowza. Round of applause. Thank you, Jivan. And I was remiss before, and I apologize, because I know there are a lot of other elected officials here, and some have been introduced, some have not. So I'm just going to ask all elected officials to please stand, because you folks volunteered, you give up your time so freely. We've got trustees, directors, vice mayors, council members, school board members, etc. So all the elected officials, please stand. Let's give them a warm round of applause. Yes, they are. They're amongst us. They're everywhere. Thank you. Thank you for your service to our communities. And no, I did not forget Pete McHugh. He's going to be coming up here later to get an award, and I do remember him when he had dark hair. So enough of that. Okay, now we're going to have another wonderful bit of entertainment, I think. But Jivan missed something. Hold on.
I'm very sorry I missed our very honored guest who came here for the first time. He's the new Consul Community Affairs, Ashok Sinha, a very handsome, wonderful man. He came all the way from San Francisco, and I have no idea how I could forget him. Thank you, Ashok. Thank you very much.
Okay, now we're going to have a performance called Can Do by the Jung Soo Won Martial Art Action Demo Team. And I was watching them warm up in the hall. I think you're in for a really special treat. So without further ado, Can Do. One more second. They've been raring to go all this time. I know they're ready.
Okay, let's go watch her. Not feel about it. Look at what she's doing it. Can you see it? Break! Run! Come in! He can do, she can do, why not me? So this is what you're going to say!
He can do, she can do, why not me? He can do, she can do, why not me? He can do, she can do, why not me?
Yay!
Yep,
Thank you! Thank you very much! Yay!
off the floor, let's go, over there. Clean up!
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a round of applause for the Jung Soo Won Martial Art Action Demo Team. Can Do.
Thank you for the thoughtful introduction, Dave. It feels just like yesterday when I introduced Congressman Stark at our first Unity Dinner back in 2002. And our keynote speaker this evening is a Bay Area native, well known throughout the country as an expert in child and family policy and programs, as a special assistant in the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. During the Clinton administration, she designed and implemented Congress's Family Preservation and Support Initiative and the well-known Early Head Start program. Prior to this, she was a policy analyst for the Bipartisan National Commission on Children. She has authored numerous publications suggesting ways in which parents and child care providers can effectively speak out to advance policy and practice in early childhood. Presently, she heads up a growing movement to develop and expand voluntary pre-kindergarten programs called Pre-K. This mother of three will talk to us about why it is a new day for America's children, and not only what the Obama administration promises for children, but what her husband and our Honorable Congressman Pete Stark will do to make this all happen. Please help me give a dynamite welcome to Deborah Roderick Stark.
Thank you, Raul, and congratulations to you. It's very exciting news.
Thank you, and it's quite an honor for me to be here tonight with all of you. Long ago, Jivan asked me about my interests, my concerns, my passions, and I doubt that he knew when he asked me that question that I'd start talking and never stop about my commitment to bringing hope and opportunity to children here in our community, across the United States, and around the world. And I doubt that he knew that I would pester him beyond belief to join me in becoming an advocate for children, our future. I arranged appointments with with some of my colleagues in early childhood for Jivan. I bombarded him with research from neuroscientists, child development experts, pediatricians, and the like, because I knew that with his entrepreneurial spirit, his commitment to family, and his community connections, he would join me in changing the world one child at a time. Tonight I feel so fortunate to be here with all of you, Jivan's friends and trusted advisors, to encourage you to join us in building support for an agenda for children that focuses on quality early childhood, comprehensive health care, and strong families for every child in America. You know, it's sad for me that America professes to love its children, but our actions too often fail to go beyond rhetoric. Each year, 4 million babies exit the hospital as beautiful bundles of joy with their parents beaming from pride. But cruelly, American society forgets them once they drive away. Every industrialized nation in our world, and even some developing nations too, have a higher regard for the next generation than we do in America. We pretend that our children are born healthy, that they have access to quality health care. But the fact is that in America, every 41 seconds, a baby is born without health insurance. Every 2 minutes, a baby is born at low birth weight. Every 18 minutes, a baby dies before its first birthday. Among industrialized nations across the country, America ranks 22nd in infant mortality and 22nd in low birth weight and 25th in infant mortality. In a country as rich as ours, it is shameful that 1 in 6 children are living in poverty, that 1 in 50 children are homeless today, and that more than 900,000 children each year suffer abuse and neglect at the hands of a parent or a guardian. James Heckman, he was the 2000 Nobel laureate in economics, has been speaking out about the importance of the early years and the trajectory that children can be put on for future success if we make the right investments. Bill Gates, Warren Buffett too, have been talking about these issues, with Warren's daughter Susie even devoting her entire family foundation to investments in research, practice, and program on the birth to 5 years. They're calling our attention to the importance of prevention and early intervention for young children. They're calling our attention to the importance of investing in those early years. They're calling our attention to a growing body of research that highlights the birth to 5 period as a time when the brain grows most rapidly, when the architecture is put in place for future cognitive, linguistic, social, and emotional development. My buddy at Harvard, Jack Shonkoff, reminds us that the brain is malleable and that toxic stress in those early years can have lasting effects for children. For me and for all of you, the studies are indisputable. For every dollar we spend on high-quality early intervention for young children, we can save $16 in future costs to society. But despite this research, despite all we know about the importance of early intervention, we're failing to make the public investments in those years. So some might ask, why do I care? Why do I study these statistics? Why do I stay up at night writing about some of these issues? I care, and I know all of you care, because it's not fair and it's not right. Children don't get to choose the circumstances in which they are born. It's not the fault of a child who doesn't have health insurance. They still need a medical home. They still need their well child visits. They need a doctor that they can turn to for a variety of health services. It's not the fault of the child who goes to bed hungry at night. That child needs proper nourishment and nutrition so that they can be ready to learn in the morning. It's not the fault of the family who's lost their job due to this economic downturn. That family needs a helping hand from our public system to stay strong, to find work, and to provide for their children. And it's not the fault of the mom who is suffering postpartum depression. She needs services and support, and her children do too. The fact is that kids who start out behind tend to stay behind. If we don't invest our resources in these very children in the early years, study after study shows that we'll be picking up the tab for the cost of poor health care, delinquency, emotional challenges in the future. I know you share my joy that there's a new day in America, one where the president is talking about these very issues. President Obama understands deep down that investing in our young children is key for building a strong fabric within our society and for promoting peace throughout the world. Providing hope and renewed commitment to children from Cradle through college is his slogan, and he's already taken important first steps to support health and education. With Pete's help, he's expanded the SCHIP program, which will help to address the number of children who are uninsured. The stimulus package included new money for child care, for Head Start, for early Head Start, investments that we know are important and that work. He's also included new money for schools so that we can keep class sizes low, we can hire teachers, and we can rebuild dilapidated buildings. And he's providing more money for college loans and aid so that college is more affordable to more youngsters. But President Obama makes it clear that he's only just begun. He'll continue to work on health reform with Pete front and center in those discussions already. He'll continue to work on education reform, making significant investments in the early years. And importantly, he's modeling for all of us the importance of strong families, his relationship with his family that we all can look at and admire and emulate. You guys know that Pete is right in the mix of things in Washington. He's providing essential leadership on the overall discussion about health reform, the broad discussions about health reform, and the specific discussions about new directions for Medicare. He's also, with my nudging, on the Income Security and Family Support Subcommittee of the Ways and Means Committee. The little known fact is he doesn't have to have a second subcommittee, but he has to, or he can't come home at night. Because this is the subcommittee that does all of the work that focuses on TANF, on child care and the foster care system, other areas where I've done my research, and I always want to make sure he is influencing that agenda. And if he doesn't do the right thing, there's a pillow in the doghouse for him. Just last week, Pete was honored by the Campaign for Mental Health Reform for work that he's done on mental health issues. Patrick Kennedy introduced him, gave him the award, and it was just truly amazing to hear the litany of things that Peter has done in his career to support increased services for folks who need mental health care. As we rejoice in the promise of new leadership in Washington, so many of us are overcome with disappointment from Sacramento. So often, California has led the way in our nation with innovation and progressive policy, family leave, class sizes, very small for K through 3, environmental standards that set the path in our country, but today we're scrambling. I don't envy our local delegation. While I know that our representatives in Sacramento believe in prevention and earlier intervention, and they want to do what's right, the opportunity to maintain such investment seems to have vanished. The trouble is that we've seen this before. At times of significant budget trauma, locally, at the state level, in other states, not just California, and nationally, at times of significant budget trauma, all too often we cut the very programs that will save us dollars in the long run. Twice in California, voters have passed Prop 10, a tax on tobacco that counties receive those funds to support programs for children ages birth to 5 and their families. Now our good governor wants to use those funds to shore up the state deficit. Please join me in May in voting no on Prop 1D, which would take those precious dollars that we use here in Alameda County and redirect them to the black hole in Sacramento. And steps on mental health issues. I thank all of you for your interest, your concern for enhancing opportunities for children. I thank Jivon for selecting the theme for this evening. I applaud those of you who are being honored tonight, especially my colleague on the First Five Commission, Dr. Wang, for all of his work that he does in our community. I know with all of your dedication, all of your support, and Jivon's commitment to rally the troops, we will make a difference in our community here. But I hope that as we go forth, each of you will join me in doing 3 things. First, I hope you will join me in spreading the word about the importance of early intervention for children and their families. Second, I hope that you will demand that our policymakers at every level, from the Board of Supervisors, our state leaders, and our federal leaders over there, that they, in times like this, they are wise and they direct scarce resources towards prevention and early intervention, towards the best practices that we know will make a difference for building a strong America. And the third thing is I hope each of you, each day, will take time to reach out to a young child, to give them hope, teach them the excitement about learning, boost their confidence, and make sure they know that they are loved. It's with that love, that hope, that expectation that all of us set for young children that gives them that energy to strive to succeed, reach their fullest potential, and be all that they can be. Thank you for letting me be here tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have another round of applause for Deborah Roderick Stark. That was outstanding. Thank you so much. Well, now it's time for some awards. And the Indo-American Community Federation Awards Committee is comprised of Mr. Steve Cho, who's a former member of the Fremont City Council. And I would be remiss if I did not mention that on the 30th of May, the Ohlone College Foundation Board has decided to honor Mr. Steve Cho as the Citizen